Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oh, there.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome to the I Am Beauty conversation.
Yay.
Yay.
So
I really-
excited.
Yay.
Yeah, I really wonder what a conversation around beauty can create. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, and especially for those who have attended the I Am Beauty class with the awesome Sarah Grandinetti and Cassy Summers.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. First of all, welcome you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coordinating this. Thank you for hopping on and being willing to have a vulnerable and a beautiful and a fun, outrageously fun conversation with us here tonight. So you guys have each one of you have attended the I Am Beauty class with Sarah Grandinetti and Cassy Summers in New York, right? Am I correct?
Yes, together.
Together. Yes.
Yes.
Together. Awesome. Awesome. That's so cool. Before I ask you how that was, I would just love to introduce you guys to everyone. We have Neha. Hi, Neha.
Hi.
Nilesh. Marco. Nidhi.
Hi.
And Vani.
Hi.
Awesome, guys. How was the I Am Beauty class for you guys?
Fun.
Fun.
It was definitely fun. Yes.
So can I ask you a question? Like when you heard the name I Am Beauty, I mean a class by the name of I Am Beauty, which is generally brings up a lot of that beauty in itself brings up so many judgments, right? And it's an access class, and so when you got to know the name, what came up for you guys? Were you like, oh, I'm going there? Or were you like, this class isn't for me? Or were you like, oh, wow, that's different? Like, what was it for you?
I had this really interesting experience where I kind of hopped on the bandwagon like in the last minute. So I didn't know there was a whole 2.5 day class. For some reason, that didn't sink in my mind. And I thought there was just this taster on a Friday night. And as it happened, so I had a bunch of appointments on the same day. And interestingly, I changed 3 or 4 outfits on the same day. so that I'm appropriately dressed for each one. It was just insane. And I don't know how it came up, but I ended up in the class in a dress. And I loved the class. I loved the taster. And I had a whole bunch of stuff planned out for the weekend, volunteering at the science fair and a whole bunch of things. And I essentially canceled everything, rescheduled everything so that I could get to the class because it was so expansive.
So can you say more about that? That's very interesting because you said that, it was like the introduction, which for everyone who doesn't know, it is a prereq, right? For the 2 days.
Of course.
Yeah. So what happened in that introduction that had you put aside everything that you'd planned for your weekend to choose the class?
I actually came with no point of view, and somehow this magic got created where it drew me out in a way.
Right.
I don't think there are words to say exactly what I got. You know what I mean?
But we can get the energy of that. Yeah. It's like,
yeah. It was so beautiful. The space was beautiful. And it's not like we only spoke about beauty, inner beauty versus, physical beauty or appearance. It's never an or a versus. It's an and. And that's what we began with. That you can't exclude your body or your being and be in the space of beauty. Because while you're divorcing and you're doing separation, you can't have that beauty.
Wow. Wow. Thank you
Wow.
for that, Nidhi. Wow. Wow, you have us speechless. Well, you
Well,
know,
thanks to Sarah and Cassy for creating that space.
wow. Yeah. I mean, what if we could actually look at beauty like that? Where there was no separation. Yeah. And does it really, is it just about each person's beauty, or does it really go into including the beauty of everybody around you? Vani, would
That's
you like to come in on
so
that?
beautiful that you said that.
Yeah, right, Nidhi? Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah.
really wondering about that. I'd love to ask you, Annie, what did you feel about it? Did it kind of include everybody, or was it more about me and my beauty and, you know, I can finally be seen, or what was it?
As a class, I would say it started with I am beauty. And
Yeah.
when I first heard it, I'm like, no, I'm not beauty, I'm ugly. And it's funny, like I attended couple of intro classes before I went to the New York class. I took one online from California when Sarah and Cassie had done the first time, and then I took another intro class online from Canada. They did the class in Canada, and in person when I attended, it was again so expansive. And towards the journey of this class itself, I kept changing my points of view about me. So it's more about what is the separation. Separation is when I have a point of view about that I am alone, I am not good enough, I am cornered, that I am the victim, something happened to me. So all those things shift after the class. And when there is no separation within me, I will not have a separation outside of me. And
Right.
it's more, all the
Wow.
barriers melted after the class, during the class. And Marco, would you like to add something to this? Because I know you were with us all the while, and
Actually, we have some very special questions put aside for Marco. Lisa, do you want to go
Oh,
with
wow.
that?
Okay. We can go with the question then directly. Well, I can tell you also as an introduction that me going to Beauty Class New York to film was something that has been decided a week before. Because I contact beauty for me is kind of like a big topic, and I think is something that cross culture, is something that cross the globe, and it's something that I think that should be more inclusive. So I actually contact Sassy Productions, so Cassie and Sarah, and I was talking with them about like the possibility of create even more, because I thought it was very interesting what they were doing. However, I think there was even more to add. And a week before, we're in a conversation. They're like, "Wait, we need a video for the class. Why don't just come and do it?" I was like, I never shot a class, but I think that'd be awesome. And so I took a leap. I jumped on a plane. I didn't know what to expect. I have no idea what the venue looked like, nor what the class or the participant looked like, or what would happen. And I think I think like that's very much a class that changed accordingly to the energy of the participant. And so we've been on this journey together, and like everyone in some point was leading the journey somewhere else, but was somewhere not unfamiliar for any of us. So it was very kind of intimate in some point. It was something very I don't know how to say, like beyond any expectation. It's a journey.
Wow. That is beautiful, truly. Um,
You have a
well, the
question for
question
me?
that we had
Yeah.
written down just doesn't seem very relevant anymore. But I'd love to ask you, you know, in this reality, beauty is considered primarily for women. Men know they're beautiful, but there's a little bit of a barrier that goes up when they're approached with that. And true beauty for a man is exactly what you just described. But what is it for you? Like as a man, if you had to say, what is it? What what is the I am beauty? What did I am beauty pull you? What about I am beauty pull you as a man?
Well, I can tell you also what you just said before, I think is very cultural because I live in a place called South Korea, and in South Korea, the beauty cosmetic and the beauty industry for men is huge. It's almost as big as the woman one. So even their like beauty, I think, is a cultural matter in the way that involve male, especially. I think it changed a lot. Like I would say in Italy as well. Like there is a cult, not cult. There is a culture. There is actually a space for beauty for men. It's not something. It's not a concept that doesn't apply to male. Well, for me, it was very interesting because I went to the class to film, and initially I thought that was kind of like my primarily duty or like the reason why I was there. And every single day, I've been invited to someone from the facilitator, like Sarah or Cassie, to leave the camera and just like be part of it, which I personally never would expect it. And in some point for me, I think there's no really separation. The dialogues about beauty obviously change, and there is also a part where like it's specific for men. So like I've been asked questions, and I had the mic. I have to keep the mic in the class, and to me it's just like even the women beauty is not something disconnected with men. Like men are in the dialogue, are in the conversation. I couldn't see personally. I don't know how does it sound to say this, but like I think men are the primary, are the kind of like first spectator, the first audience, the first receiver of women beauty, and is nature. So men cannot be excluded by that.
Wow.
That is so beautiful.
Oh my God.
And
You
I think
guys
also
are gonna make me cry.
no, I mean like get ready for that because that's gonna be all day long. Truly. And also I think like beauty, in a very simple way to put this, but beauty is also the bravery of acknowledgement is self-acknowledgement. And in my point of view, acknowledgement is the vulnerability that is required to acknowledge yourself and to acknowledge the other, and it's very, very close. So again, I believe like men are more sensitive to women beauty. Women are more sensitive to men beauty. So how can we separate on that? I think it's really about the dialogue. So there's no exclusion. I think it's a dialogue that not should, but like it's a dialogue to have together. It's an acknowledgement to have together. Because if I don't know, but like if a man is always acknowledged as beautiful only from men, doesn't really work in the world.
Yeah.
And I believe for a woman too, unless the preferences are different. That could be.
If I could share something, I also feel like the question is beauty and men versus beauty and women only comes from our definitions of beauty and not in what beauty is in itself. And that's something that they really do open up in the class. The definitions and meanings and labels and exclusions and separations that we have with beauty.
So true, Nidhi, when you say that, because I still remember this funny is coming up now, and I was in school and I said, what a beautiful man. And my teacher said, no, men are not beautiful, men are handsome. It just popped, and I'm like, wow, when did I decide that men can't be beautiful? You know?
It's a bought point of view, essentially. As a child, you don't have a point of view about that. Very true.
Yeah.
And there's also the thing that, you know how in Access we say you can only see what you are. So just think about it, all the people, all the men who are acknowledging women to be beautiful and that shows how beautiful they are. And it's just, I feel like this class has helped them realize that by them acknowledging that women are beautiful, they're acknowledging themselves as being beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She's 18, by the way. Yeah? Be careful.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow, that's so wonderful. And what about Nilesh? What was your experience like?
Desh was the most popular man in the class, to be honest.
Oh, I can imagine that.
Well, it got me acknowledging myself about how beautiful I am instead of something else. Because a similar experience happened to me. Like my teacher said, men can never be beautiful, and and women can never be handsome. And
Wow.
I was just like, no, I'm gonna say whatever I want. And
Were you interesting? Did you say interesting point of view?
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah. So Isha, do you have anything you'd like to ask?
No, I don't. But like what this also shows is exactly what we were talking about initially about ending the separation and melting the walls.
Yeah.
Also between genders, everywhere beauty's been defined, and where everywhere beauty's not been defined, and basically
Yeah.
all
So
of that. What if it's time for all the walls of where beauty is allowed to exist and where it's not to melt?
yeah. Beautiful. And with Neha being 18 now, she's been through that age of in school where
I'm 15,
I mean,
not 18.
oh, like you have to get me on that one, right? Okay, sweetheart, you're 15. Age is just a number anyway.
Exactly. I'm going to pretend I'm 25, so it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So how is it in school?
I'm going to
remember
pretend I'm 25 too.
I remember when with both Isha and with my younger daughter Noor, with both our daughters, there used to be so much of, with both the girls coming back home saying, with my younger one, and with Isha coming back saying, oh my God, she said this to me, I'm not beautiful, or she's not beautiful, or Noor coming back and saying, I'm not beautiful, my friend is prettier than me. And there was all this constant comparison, which even if we as parents never really did, kids would put it out there, almost to the extent of being mean to each other.
This is hilarious, and it's something that I shared in the class, actually. I grew up, not because anybody said anything or comparing to anybody, but I grew up essentially thinking that I was ugly.
Yeah.
I
know.
And it was much later that when I received acknowledgement that I started to look at it differently at all.
Yeah.
And to start having that conversation about what really is beauty or what it isn't. So it's a lot of it is actually entirely about point of view. It's so unreal because the energy of a child and the joy and the true being that they are, that in itself is so beautiful. And that shines through their form as well, physically who they are. The body shines with that energy and that light, which is why a lot of people, with aging, they generally have that point of view, right? As you age, you're not as beautiful as when you are when you're young. So it's essentially because that energy shines through, and that's this vibrant energy that comes before we've brought all those points of view.
I don't know why, but that aging, the whole thing reminded me. You know that ad for Fair and Lovely, the every time I used to look at it, it came on Cartoon Network and all those channels that I used to sit and watch with my grandma. I was 10 maybe, and it used to say how it can make you fair and your skin lighter. And then at that point, I'm like, why? So does it mean if I have dark skin, I'm not beautiful? I'm not lovely? I was just so confused, just because that ad almost portrayed fair women to be beautiful. So I was like, why can't I be light skinned? So like it's all these little points of views that the world puts in, and then like when everything gets mashed together, you end up in a hole by yourself. So I feel like I Am Beauty is like slowly pulling you out, and it just kind of starts to dissipate all the energies and points of views that you've created using contributing factors from outside and yourself. And
Did you say you're 15? Did you say you're 15? Yeah.
And I think also something that comes with this is the choice of vulnerability. That is a space we're not actually commonly invited to, because it looks like, and it's often in this reality being seen as a space of weakness rather than a space of strength. But it's a space where like there is a huge potential to express and a huge potential to tap, and being invited constantly to be that, to go there, to expand into the space. It really kind of like change the kind of the dialogue with yourself as well, because like a lot of times, especially for men, but I mean for everyone, being vulnerable feels almost like wrong, because you cannot show, you cannot admit, you cannot be open to how you feel, how you would like things, or like how things has been separated or projected at you. And vulnerability is a kind of like really a superpower, I think, in this way. So being in the light of it, I think that's what could kind of like trigger the class and the participant to, you know, to claim their being, to claim their beauty, to be willing to look at and to be willing to be support while they're looking at something maybe that never before has been they've been invited to actually check, to actually look, to actually talk about it, which is a big contribution for everyone. It's really big. It's a big invitation for everyone.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Yes, the gentleness and that kindness actually comes through you and your body as you speak, and the very energy. In fact, that's something that I think is showing from all of you. It's a gentleness, the kindness, and that vulnerability energy, which is literally like, I mean, that's you, that's the beauty, and that is something that's so beautiful. And even the horn agrees with me.
Yeah. I grew up always feeling like my softness and my vulnerability was such a limitation. And thank God for Access. I got into Access, and the more I started asking questions and the more I started embracing myself, I started realizing that the softness and the vulnerability was actually true beauty for me. So, yeah, that's another huge part of what beauty is the willingness to be soft, kind, vulnerable, even in the moments when everyone around you is not willing to, and then being the walls that probably can melt those points of views and limitations around so they can be themselves too, the beauty that they are.
So beautifully said, Isha.
Yeah.
And yes,
Well,
I was asking Nilesh, Nilesh, do you think I'm Beauty is only for women? And he's like, no, it's for everyone. Nilesh, you want to speak more about that?
Sure. The reason I think it's for everyone is because everybody has some judgment of themselves to say they're not beautiful or they're not anything. But I Am Beauty shows that you are beautiful and you are beauty.
yeah. And I think recently that's something so beautifully said, Nilesh, and thank you for that, sweetheart. Because it's when boys and men like you Nilesh and Marco actually are willing to step out into the world and embrace the beauty of you, where it makes it easier for women too to be seen for the beauty of themselves. That they don't need to hide, because if the men can be seen as beautiful, it's okay for us to be seen as beautiful too, right? It's almost like it's okay, yeah. And it's a great, it's, if I can say it, you guys are the ones who are actually changing the world, truly changing the world, and being the invitation for men, for women to come forward and actually embrace their beauty.
Yeah. Yes.
I really, really want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you for the acknowledgement. And I can tell you that for me, there are so many other men out there that they know it and they be in that just in a different way. When I think like they will just take the invitation, because it's something that becoming more available, I guess, these days. It really, it's a topic. That's, I think, what's the strength of this class. It brings up something different about a topic that is now is in a conversation with anything, especially because we are more exposed to different beauty, to different look, to differences as well. We have, I don't know, models with like different skin colors and like different, I forgot her name, Winnie, and I think her name is Winnie Harlow, the American model with like vitiligo. Having that on the mainstream, it really kind of show there is that we are ready to change something, that probably something is already changed and we just have to acknowledge it.
Yeah, true.
And let me ask you a question for you. What could be our contribution then for you both for the India class of I Am Beauty? What can we contribute to?
Just by being you, by actually coming on this call and sharing the beauty of you guys is such an invitation. It's truly such a beautiful invitation.
Yep.
And well, with this class, and actually, you know, I also wanted to talk about, Dane has been speaking so much about beauty of late, right? Would you like to share something about that? About what he has to say about beauty, and about how the difference in us is the beauty of us, right? Which most of us try to cover up and hide and fit into the right frame and the right look, and get the right look and the right frame to fit in with the rest of the society. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure if this relates to what
Yeah.
exactly you're asking, but I know that as a 15-year-old in 10th grade trying to, you know, fit in the nerd standard and get all your hundreds and get everything, it's kind of seen as you don't have time for beauty, you don't have time to sleep, you don't have time to like love yourself, or even like take a 30-minute shower. Oh my god, I have a test tomorrow, I don't have time for showers. But after I went to I Am Beauty, and something in there clicked, and I realized that I can be smart and I can be whatever I want and acknowledge myself. So like the class was like June 2nd or something, and like school was ending June 21st. So like for the next 2 weeks, I went to school with this new presence, with this new desire to show up in my life. And I went and I wore dresses and I wore a bit of makeup, and everybody in school was like, wait, what are you doing? Aren't you a nerd? Aren't you supposed to be smart? And I'm like, who said you can't be smart just because you're beautiful? Who said you're not allowed to look beautiful just because you want to pursue something? Just because like people think I want to become a doctor, and then they're like, doctors don't have time to go do stuff. Doctors don't have time to go shopping and wear makeup and all that. And I was like, well, I could be the first doctor. And then I was just like, I met you. And Nidhi is a doctor. Look at her. She is willing to step out there.
Yeah, I am a doctor.
Yeah, Nidhi, absolutely. Then you are one beautiful doctor. Wow.
Exactly. So, all
You know, this is beautiful. I had this experience where, you know, my workplace is pretty casual. So everybody would just come in like jeans and a t-shirt or a shirt. And so this one day I decided to like really dress up and go in formals. And it's unbelievable because, you know, the cars were giving me way, people on the pavement were giving me way. I got extra attention on the train. I mean, I will honestly tell you, there was one day, they were just lovely to me. He returned my ticket and said, you can get another ride. And even at work, I was getting things done. And it wasn't that I was specifically doing anything, you know, additional. Sometimes the space that we're willing to be and that we're willing to be vulnerable and seen is an invitation to other people to how they view themselves and to the beauty in them and the vulnerability in them. And when you can draw that space in them, that's truly what connects at that moment. And that's what draws them to you and gives them the joy of giving you that space.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So this was after the beauty class.
Yes, this was after the beauty class.
We were chatting on the group, and one morning she's all dressed up and she's telling us all this, and we all were like, "Yay, Nidhi, go! Yeah, I would like to have some of that." So
Yeah. That's a really old
Actually,
saying,
that's
right?
a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really beautiful thing that's gotten created in this class, where we have this, you know, closely knit group where, you know, we have each other's back. We share what's going on with us, you know, celebrate. And, you know, if we want contributions or we're looking to change something, we sort of just have each other's back. I don't want to say help each other because there's no diminishment in that. You know, it's not like, oh, I know this and you don't, and I'm going to help you. That's not at all the space that it is. And it's so beautiful because in this class, they created that space where we sort of had this. Actually, we created a lot of space. When I think of the class, there's just this expansion that got created, and there was so much space and more space and more space. And it sort of unravels you. And being vulnerable in that space with these beautiful group of people who have your back, and then you have theirs, creates this, what we call the tribe, essentially, you know, where we still have this group where we have it going and have this continuous conversation about beauty, about different aspects of life, and how this has created that for us. This group of oneness, essentially, where there isn't that separation. That's one of the most beautiful things, I think, that got created in the class.
Wow. You do. I did read about an exercise in the class about having your back, and where you actually start to know what having your back is all about, right? That's something which has always intrigued me. And I'm so excited about knowing what actually having my back is. You won't tell anybody. Looking forward to the class now in October in Mumbai. And
you were asking before about.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
do we quickly touch base upon the flash mob? Marco has something. Marco is saying something.
Yeah, Shandan, you were asking about like what Dane has been said recently. So I was in the BU class in Brazil, and we were making a documentary there. So there was like a lot of conversation with Dane and a lot of like time where he was talking to the camera and so. And as it came up just now, but like what really Dane knows about beauty is, first of all, like living life as a celebration, and as a celebration of you, your body, your style, your being, your difference. That's a beauty. It's a huge invitation, because actually triggering some point other people to acknowledge that, and to acknowledge it not like how cool you are or how beautiful you look or how stylish, but is acknowledging that possibility that in some point has been given away, has been taken away. has been denied, or has been like something that maybe has never been presented that clear, that they can choose that. They're just like one choice away. And the other factor is like, in some point I noticed that like beauty is very kind of close to the being you class, because it's something that the space it creates also to having your back is something extremely personal, and it's something about you. It's not something about the beauty according to other people, or beauty according to, it's like being you is being you, is not being vain.
Yeah.
And so there was this connection, and then also like he started to ask questions sometime about what's the beautiful energy underneath that, which is something that basically just allow you dynamically to tap into the beauty, where maybe has been something has been projected, or maybe where like you rather see the point of view and the judgment of everyone else, but knowing and having that awareness that like something beautiful is there, and so you're invited to check and to look what it is. That really unwrap and unravel something that probably we're not even thinking about at the most. And there is still like this to me, like the closest thing was the concept of how different you are.
Yeah.
That is really big in his word. Is huge, and is almost at the base of being you. And that I think is that invitation of acknowledgement.
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you.
You know, that is so true that you said that, which, you know, I haven't attended the Being You class itself, but after about a month and a half of the I Am Beauty class, I was in this space and I was like, hey, this is the Being You energy. I was just aware of that. And I was like, I understand that this is what the energy is. And I've been through a bit of the book. So you sort of fall into that space. Oh, hi, Ranjana.
Hey.
Hi, Ranjana.
Hi, Ranjana. Good to have you on. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us. So would you like to share about what the class was like for you?
The class was really amazing. And then I think this is what I was I was looking for this kind of energy from a very long time. And then the way we have each other's back, and the way I have my own back in every situation with my family and melting my people around. I mean, I have my in-laws and parents here, and then a lot of things were happening. And then every time I used to just choose for myself and then include them, and then, be the beauty, and then see the beauty in everyone. And now my universe has changed so much. So say, for example, I was flying recently, and then there was a girl, she was my co-passenger, and she started talking, and she was like, I was telling verbally, hey girl, I have your back. And then she had my back too. And then she waited until I got my baggage and everything, it was so nice. And then I see the beautiful smile, and then, yeah, it's so amazing. So seeing beauty in everyone, and then being the beauty and having your own back and being you. I know what is being you means now.
And let me acknowledge also this, you changed a lot during the class and after the class. You were just like
Yes, I know that. And thanks for the acknowledgement. So whenever I go low and when I see the acknowledgement from others, that brings me in, and then yeah.
I remember the photo you post in the thread, and everyone was like, hey, what happened? And this I think
I'm full on fire.
but like seriously, like this is also something it's kind of like funny to say, because it seems like to be so optimistic or like to talk asses, but it's like it is true. You have to see people change, like physically, like their face, their look during the class, after the class, few days after the class. It happened to me as well. I flew back Couple of days, I'm meeting some friends, some people, some clients, and they are like, "What's different?" I'm like, I don't know. It's like, no.
Oh my God,
You,
now that you
Yeah.
mentioned Marco, everyone has been asking me, did you lose weight? What happened? You look so different. You're so beautiful. Even the I had gone for a headshot.
Oh my God.
You're
This
so
reminds me. This reminds me of Sarah and Cassie opening it up for me as well. And they were like, who creates your body? And I literally dropped, probably uh, 7 or 8 pounds in like 5 days. And I
no
could choose
way.
that and create that. It was amazing. And now I honestly, I mean, I'm not even exercising or whatever. I eat based on, I mean, what's light. It's completely changed for me. And yesterday I happened to go shopping and I was like, if it's not excess, I cannot buy it. Because it's just too big. And I mean, it wasn't from the point of view of what my body, what size or shape my body should be. But I realized that even while I'm not paying attention to the exact shape that it is, it's also creating on its own while I'm giving it that space. And that's definitely changed for me after I'm beauty.
Thank you, Marco, for bringing that up.
I
because
know.
that to me was kind of just like, wait, what? What? This is incredible. It is incredible.
I think this is happening in my universe as well. So recently, my brother-in-law was like, he went to a dietitian and he was telling, you need to go there and all those stories. And then, yeah, nothing changed in me. And then, yeah, so my choices in food and the dress, everything is changing. And I have a sense of peace. That's so amazing.
That's huge. That's awesome.
Awesome. So how many other people are looking for this class to come and change and have
And
Yes.
expand and explode their universe.
Yeah, one thing that I would definitely say is I'm more comfortable in my own skin.
Hmm.
So, Ranjana joined late. We may want to ask her this question. When you heard about I Am Beauty, what did you sense and how was your experience during and after the class? That was one of the questions in the beginning.
From the time I choose the I Am Beauty moment on Facebook, a lot of things change. And when I choose to go for this class, from then my universe started changing. There's so much change, and which I can't measure. And then when I went for the class, it was like, it was not all makeup and all the beauty I thought, what is beauty about? And then, all the judgments. It was much beyond being me, turned on completely. And then, yeah, it's so amazing and magical, choosing each and every day, being I'm beauty, and then spreading that I'm beauty energy and think oneness around everyone.
Now I have to share this, okay? So this hilarious thing happened where on Sunday there was a ferry, and basically it's for undergrad first years, and I had no idea. It came on my email feed, so I bought a ticket to go with all the undergrad first years who are all 17 and 18-year-olds basically. So I went there in t-shirt and jeans to see if I can sell my ticket off to somebody else, and all of them came with tickets. So I didn't have a way to sell my ticket, and they were like, "You want to go on it anyway because there's going to be free food and stuff." And I was like, "I'm not, don't really know anybody." And then there was this bunch of girls who just came up to me and said, "Well, you just come with us now," and they dragged me onto the ferry and had this amazing time in a t-shirt and jeans. And at some point, I was warm, and I ended up tying my t-shirt. And when I came back, I realized that this absolute casual look had turned into so much more. And I had this superb time with them, dancing, and nobody even knew that I wasn't a 17-year-old with them. When I said I'm a grad student, there was like a look of shock in the group. But anyway.
Yeah, something similar happened with me as well. The girl I was talking about, my co-passenger, yeah, she was really sweet. And then I was just telling I'm married. And she's like, you don't look like you're married, and then you're like too young. And then I asked her, did you guess my age? And then when I told my age, she was like, no, you don't look your age. I said I'm 33, and she was like, no, I don't know. What did she think? I think she thought 23 or something.
Wow. What an amazing side effect.
I know, right? Side effects we don't mind.
Yes.
At all. And also, I would add that for me, having Neha and Nilesh in the class was such of a contribution because in some point, I don't know, we still look at, us as classes as something almost like to change what we've been bought so far, to go beyond limitation. It's time, we want to change it. But then it's, in seeing like younger participants, you're like, no, this is kind of like to just choose something different and to see like, to have the energy available and their presence. It just like change the complete room because there's no separation anymore. So it really, I don't know, it just like contribute in a totally different way. I was actually super grateful. I was actually like, I could acknowledge them. I could perceive their presence and how that change in the class, really. So my invitation would be, if you can expand it or can make sure to invite some younger participant, which younger we don't know anymore because their consciousness is ageless. However, like it's really a big contribution for everyone.
Yes, they were a great contribution for me. There was something going on. There was a lot of stuff changing in the class. And then, so Vani was getting her bars run. So I went, sat there, and then I said, I want to get my bars run. And then I was asking, whom can I ask? Then I asked Nilesh. And then, in between, I was releasing a lot of stuff. And then I was like in a different plane. And then Nilesh was like, get back to I am duty energy. Get back to I am duty energy. And then, he did a magical body work on me. And then it was such a great contribution, and can't thank him enough. And then that changed every molecule in the class. And then he's a superhero.
He did a whole SOP for you.
He did an SOP, and then he asked me, can I run SOP on you? I said yes.
Is our superhero and our supergirl coming to India for the class with you, Vani?
They will live stream from here because they have school.
Yeah.
Oh.
Their school is starting day after tomorrow. They're on a summer break.
Right.
And
Wonderful.
Came into my screen. He just closed that and he said, I'm going to come with mommy.
All the mummies.
Thank you, Nilesh.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Marco, for that beautiful acknowledgement, because I think that we sometimes don't acknowledge them enough. Even I have to acknowledge them. A beautiful daughter, and she's just contributing to me in way beyond I could ever imagine with the I Am Beauty energy that she is. It's like I Am Beauty in action. I have 2 kids at home showing me that all the time. And I'm so grateful to Sarah and Cassie and everyone here who is speaking about it. It's so nice. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting them, because that was a great choice. That was a really great choice.
What would it be like if
anyone thought about reaching out even now? I know for some time we tried going to schools about this, but as of right now, I feel like the ball was dropped. So has anyone thought about trying to contact some India schools? Because I've seen a lot of people take bars to schools and that's going really well. So what if you guys could somehow call and just talk and see how like younger people, because we're all like infinite beings in little bodies, so it doesn't matter if you're 5 or 15.
Yes, we have been speaking with kids, we have been speaking with their parents, and we are all
let's see what gets created.
Excited, and let's see what gets created from here. Yes, maybe And thank you for taking time out, guys, and for sharing with us the beautiful experiences. And even if most of it was not being able to be put into words, yes, we did get the energy. The energy is
Actually,
so
I'd like
beautiful.
to say a few things about Sarah and Cassie themselves. You know, we've talked
Yes,
about the
please.
class, the energy of that.
Yes.
Both of them are super potent, and together they create this gooey, yummy, delicious space. They melt you with their beauty and draw you out with it. So they know, and they have to unravel it. You know, it's like they pull the energy, they manipulate the energy in a way. It's amazing. Um, they literally create that space and then draw you out into it and create that space where you can be vulnerable and joyful and explore beauty at a whole different level, and go deeper within that to um, sort of where you are beauty and where you can say I am beauty, and it's not something that's a feature anymore, you know.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, their facilitation is absolutely phenomenal. I so agree with you on that. And their awareness and just their being there, I think that itself starts to change so much. So how
Yeah,
did we get so lucky in India?
yeah, they can melt anyone, and then it's so beautiful. I'm so grateful for them.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And also after the IMBT class, we had this flash mob, and the flash mob was so beautiful. You know, Marco, Nidhi, and Ranjana, would you like to speak anything about the flash mob?
Yeah, the way you chose, and then you went upstairs and then captured. So this Vani just decided to just go capture it from a fourth. I mean, what floor was it? Eighth floor, ninth floor. Vani and Nidhi went to a hotel, and then they somehow like convinced.
Where they were having a conference. And we were like, by the way, we just want to take some recordings on this floor.
Yeah, they did some magic there, and then they could capture it within seconds. And then yeah, the way we had the dancers back, and then the way it created beauty around and melting everyone, and then spreading the message across the globe, and New York was like so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was magic. And I think also to me, it feels like it was actually very much a celebration, especially at the end of the class. Because often when class ends, and you have this energy, and at some point, you want to actually spread it, you want to actually express it, you want to actually flow it to the world. And somehow, sometimes you don't know how, or it's just you, or however. And having this kind of not demonstration, but this celebration of it add a totally different dimension and totally different perspective also to the class. Like it's something so tight to it. I mean, at this moment, I could not imagine a beauty class without a flash mob.
Yeah.
Marco, I would like to acknowledge you and your presence in the class, and then the way you contributed to all of us. Thank you very much. You're a
Thank you.
He's a magician behind the camera, you know.
Yeah.
He'll create the space where, you know, where you can say anything and be you in front of the camera, and he can create that space for anyone, which is truly magical.
Thanks. I can tell you also, I think all I received from the class and all I received from all of you, it really inspired that.
Oh.
Because also,
Wow.
you know, even with an interview, it's always a dialogue. Like even with a shooting, it's always a dialogue. It's not just like a camera pointing one direction, but there are always two people looking at each other. And so I think it's there was this space, the space you talk about, this availability, this also willingness to be acknowledged, to being seen, to being looked, It's not often like that. It's like at the BU class in Brazil, there was a little bit more like, what are you doing? Why are you shooting? Why you look at me? There was this kind of like, like, who are you? Why you don't have the... Beside in Beauty was also like smaller, but like the place looked like felt huge. We were all there, so it was a very much this kind of like tribe type of energy, and was so much ease in some point. So thank you so much, but also like thank you all of you, because like there was such of ease, such of like fun, enthusiastic, and also such a vulnerable exploration for everyone. I felt actually very lucky to have that type of job, or to have that type of and it's always, to me, even like a video is always a co-creation. So something probably I would like to suggest for the India one, consider that it will be a co-creation. Consider that a lot of the people that will come will add and co-create the class, will pilot, lead the class, bring it in places that it wouldn't go by itself.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And the class in
I am Beauty.
Mumbai from
Just
the 4th to 6th of October at Novotel Hotel.
Yeah, at Novotel. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. And we're going to get this
Thank you
rolling.
so much.
Get it out into the world. Let everybody see it and have it and choose it. Yeah. Thank you.
I am Beauty invites you all. Please join us.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I'm Beauty.
Yes.
I'm
I'm
Beauty.
Beauty.
I'm Beauty.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, guys. Bye. Thank you for
Bye.
this. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye.